With one of the most diverse arrays of gemstones lying beneath its surface, Mozambique today offers gem hunters the opportunity to discover a country that for many years, due to its terrible wars and conflicts, was simply not safe to explore. As you talk to the local people today, you get a real sense that rather than wanting to debate all the troubles of the past, they are focused on what the future has in store. And due to its wealth of beautiful gemstones, that future looks very prosperous indeed. Mozambique's come a long way over the last couple of years. It's a very colourful country. All the clothing's colourful. The people are absolutely wonderfully hospitable to us throughout the country. And this is an area where we get beautiful morganite from and beautiful tourmaline. We're now about some 5-6 kilometres away from the mine. So I'm going to jump back in my car and let's go and visit one of our first mines. The main reason for my trip to Mozambique was to visit my good friend KK's mine near the small village of Mavuku, which is one of the only 2 mines in Mozambique with a license for mining Paraiba Tourmaline.
90% of the guys that work for us here, this is the first job they have in their whole entire life.
Wow, it's incredible.
We pay here from 4,000 to 4,500. Even the ladies that work for us. But the locally salary is at 2,500. Meticais.
Yeah. So that's more than the local wage?
Yeah, it's more. It's
wow.
Almost double, isn't it, Andre?
Yeah,
almost double.
So I was reading that sort of 80% of the population are subsistence farmers, so they earn nothing. Then the government then have a minimum wage if they work for a company, so that's 2,500, and then you pay almost double.
Almost double.
That's excellent. Paraiba Tourmaline ranges from neon swimming pool blues to an electric greenish blue. What makes this gem so different to other tourmalines is the presence of copper and to a lesser extent manganese. It is the presence of these elements that give the gem its glowing appearance. The discovery of Paraiba in Mozambique was incredibly significant, as only 2 other deposits have ever been found. These deposits in Brazil and Nigeria have both since been exhausted, leaving Mozambique as the only place in the world where Paraiba Tourmaline is currently uncovered. The mining process takes a great deal of time for very little reward, as the yield for Paraiba Tourmaline is incredibly low. Firstly, the digger scoops away at the topsoil until a layer filled with pebbles and quartz is reached. This is known as the cascalho.
The cascalho is the quartz.
Okay.
That is, they come a little low and then come large, and then a small one, and here a little large, and then goes like this. And then we have the second one. And
so these different geological events, they're different alluvial deposits from different millions of years apart.
Million years. But there's something funny here. You see the white thing here? Mm-hmm. Probably be some pegmatite.
Yeah.
There is one opinion of some geologists. They come in here. Mm-hmm. They said here was a big pegmatite. They went up, they went down. They went up, they went down for billion years. So in all this area, the 200 or 300 hectares is full of a tourmaline. Full, I mean, every 4 trucks that we wash a day, we produce 100 or less of tourmaline. And that tourmaline, only 5% it is Paraiba.
So 5 pieces a day, maybe.
5, yeah, probably no more. I wish
on a good day. So all this excavation just to get 4 or 5 pieces of Paraiba.
4, yeah.
That's why we're not seeing a lot in the market then.
No.
Because it's gone in. There's none coming out of Brazil, where you're from. There's, Nigeria, I believe, is all finished.
Brazil is finished. Nigeria is finished, and this year. But this doesn't produce as much as they did for the little beginning.
Yeah.
The little beginning was a big pocket, was a lot, and there was 10,000 men, and they took everything.
There were 10,000 guys here.
10,000.
That is probably why in 2005 I had a lot of Paraiba.
Yes.
And now, I mean, I'm not seeing many workers here at all.
No, not at all. Those 10,000 guys here, they do like this. They come here, They're working here to take Paraiba. And then they find some ruby in Napopoli, so they went there. Now they find some pink tourmaline and Namitiu, so they all them go to there.
I mean, you're an expert in tourmaline. I've been to your mines in Brazil, now here in Mozambique. In sort of, if there was a scale of rarity, where do you put Paraiba against sapphires, against rubies? It's just a different league, I take it.
Yeah, the really truth is this. When you find 1 ton of a sapphire and diamonds, you find 1 kilo of a Paraiba.
1 ton to 1 kilo, yeah.
1 ton to 1 kilo. This in the near future, if they don't find another one, this is going to be completely over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Russian Alexandrite. When it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. What's happening now is we're taking where there's a chance of finding the Paraiba. 2 scoops out of the big mechanical digger here, taking the 2 scoops to the washing house. We'll do this about 50, 60 times over a week with the hope of finding 1 or 2 pieces of Paraiba.
This is then taken to the lavaria, where all of the scree is washed through a series of different steps before it is passed to the gem sorters to search for possible gemstones. Every time the ladies at the sorting tables find a pebble or a stone with any colour at all, that potential gem is placed into a safe before it is given a final check at the end of the day. Even after all of this hard work, only a handful of likely Paraiba Tourmaline gemstones are found at the mine each day.
Paraiba now is only coming really from 2 mine owners, and that is a whole day's collection. So diamonds are everywhere, but if you want a piece of Paraiba, then this is it. If you want
4 trucks.
Yeah. If you want a piece of Paraiba that was found on this day in July, that is probably the only 3 or 4 pieces in the world.
Yeah.
In the world. It's incredible. Always try and work with miners that are environmentally friendly. KK here in Mozambique, he's replanting manioca trees, he's replanting bananas, and wherever he digs, wherever he finds gemstones, afterwards when he's finished, when the bulldozers are all gone, he's replanting lots and lots of trees, literally thousands of them. And he promises me in 10 years' time, when he's finished with this area, it will look more beautiful than when he started. I mean, I'm really impressed what you're doing here. The water looks really clean, and you know, I'm always concerned about the environment with mining, and you're doing a great job. How have you got the water so good?
Yeah, because first of all, when we got the mineral rights for 25 years, we figured that we're not here for 1 day. So we have to begin to do all the right things. So we made up 5 lakes. When we wash, they goes to the first one, then goes to the second one, as you saw. Then go to the third, go to the fourth, the fifth, and then come to this one.
Brilliant. And just the fact you can see fish, you can see flowers, it must be really clean.
Yeah, and all the girls, all those guys, the village, they come here in the evening and a hot time to swing.
They swim in here?
Yeah.
Excellent. And it's fantastic. So it really is looking after the environment. You're taking the dirty water, it's clean, 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 here and then into the stream, nice and clean.
Yeah, so we try to do our best. Don't matter if we don't see anything, but in our feeling, we know this is the right way to do it.
That's excellent. Well done, I congratulate you, that's brilliant.
Okay, thank you.
As with all the countries we visit, I'm keen to see how the local community is benefiting from the gemstone mining industry, and I'm pleased to say that in Mozambique the story is no different. KK and the local miners have constructed a water well with fresh water in the nearest village, and even built the area's very first school.
Until they started to find Paraiba in the area, there were no schools. And then with the funds that have come from the various mines around the area, they managed to build their first school. So Monday to Friday, the kids, just like in the UK, go to school from 9 o'clock, but they finish at 2:30 rather than 3:30. But it's nice to see the help coming back into the community.
As the sun begins to set, it's time to head back to our accommodation and to take a closer look at the day's findings. Just shows how rare these gemstones are. KK's mine has a big JCB, has 3 big lorries, a tractor, 40 employees working 5.5 days a week. And this is all of the gemstones that came out of the mine through June. And look how many are actually Paraiba. Very, very few indeed. And when we think that pretty much there's only 2 mines on the planet currently getting the gemstones, then you realise how rare this really is. You work really hard, don't you? You work some serious hours, But
Yeah.
this has to be the best time of the day.
Yeah, the
glass
best
of wine,
glass of wine and
look at the fine.
yeah. We happen we are 100% sure what we do it, but as I said to you, you people come for 3-4 days, 5 days, and everything is nice and leave. But stay here 2 months, like my nephew 4. This is crazy. You know, it's nothing to do. But anyway, it's a very painful because when you see the beauty that it is, no doubt that it is there, it's very happy.
Yeah, it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah.
beautiful gemstones here, and the Paraiba's beautiful. The copper-bearing gemstones, the Cuprian is fantastic. Your greens are gorgeous. Your rubelites are fantastic. I mean, this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
Last night, just before we went to bed, there was a knock on the door of our shack, and in comes a local and speaking Portuguese to KK, told us of a new morganite that he's found, a new deposit, a new hole, some 4 or 5 kilometres away from where we were staying. So we followed him here this morning, and this is where he claims he was digging last night. But we brought the tractor along, and we're going to give it a little go and see what we can find. Well, we came in search of morganite. Today we haven't found any morganite, but we have just found a little area where there is definitely rose quartz. Diaphanity is very, very nice. Colour's quite strong. In fact, if we heat it, it will probably come possibly stronger. It could even go lighter. You never quite know with rose quartz, but it has a really good crystal structure. We've never actually exported before from Mozambique rose quartz, but this could be a first. So we came searching for morganite, which is obviously a very elusive gemstone, but right now we have got rose quartz. So that's a first, and we'll see what we can do with it.
After this exciting discovery, we decided to explore further and visited an area where several years before, thousands of artisanal miners had mined an array of different gemstones.
In 2005, 2006, there were 5,000 to 6,000 individual miners working this area. Up down to about 1 metre, 2 metres, they found Paraiba and they found aquamarine. But with the hand tools, they just couldn't go any further. Now we've pretty much finished the one area we've been working the last couple of days, so we've come to this area where we know that there's a sort of focus of many of these guys. And now we're some 4 or 5 metres down below, much deeper than they ever went with their hand tools, and we're hopeful we're either going to find aquamarine or Paraiba. Now we've got to take an exact measurement of how deep we've got and have a little look around, see if we can actually find anything. So no ropes, no tools, just a tape measure and a little hand pick. Okay. Now good. Again, nothing. No Paraiba, no aqua, no morganite in this particular hole, but it's only number 2 of the day, and we're going to try 5 or 6 areas today, so that should be pretty cool.
We continued our search by investigating several more potential sites, and by the end of the day our discoveries had made my whole trip worthwhile. That's got to be one of my most exciting days I've ever had in the field. We heard that there was a small area where they thought they'd found morganite. It turned out not to be morganite but quartz, but as we were leaving we found a big hole that had already been dug. We spoke to some locals and they said, yeah, 4 or 5 years ago this is where all the independent little miners were digging. So we started to scratch around. We found some quartz, we then found some feldspar, which is always a good indicator that you're near a piece of pegmatite. So we kept on digging and digging and digging. We came up with 3 pieces of what we hoped were aquamarine. I brought them back, I've done a hardness test on them, and the good news is they are most definitely aquamarine. Now this isn't great gem quality at this stage, but who knows, we keep digging a little bit further and we might find them. By the next morning, when it was time for us to bid farewell to Mozambique, I'd found a new admiration for KK and the gambles he takes every day in looking for these incredibly rare and elusive gemstones.
I've always admired you guys, because even that's a gamble, because you're still not sure till you cut it and slice it, exactly the quality, but you've paid all those taxes up front, you've paid all the salaries, all the wages, all the fuel for the diggers, everything. And then you just got to hope that when you start cutting and slicing it, it's as beautiful as you dream. It's incredible how little comes out of the ground over a whole month. It's quite frightening, really, in the sense that here's a gem that I know if they could have 1,000 pieces a day, I'd be able to sell it on the television. But I'll be lucky from now on if I get 10 pieces a month. Just very difficult to get hold of. And we've seen it firsthand, Matt and myself. We've seen the whole process, we've been there, we've watched the whole process coming through. You know, I always worry with some mine owners, they say, oh, there's not a lot coming out of the ground, and they're trying to exaggerate sometimes. But actually seeing it for myself and seeing the process from start to finish, I'm telling you right now, there is very, very little Paraiba Tourmaline about. So when you get a piece on television, if you fall in love with it, you just have to buy it when you can.